Hi everyone, I'm here today to give you a quick rundown on some of the features that you can use in Goodnotes to fill out your new character journal. So if you're new to Goodnotes, then this is the video for you. We're going to go through a lot of the basic functions and tools so you feel comfortable getting started in this note-taking app. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with importing our PDF file into Goodnotes. We have covered this in other tutorials, but in case this is your first time joining us, we'll quickly cover it here as well. Just a note, we are using the new Goodnotes 6 app. However, if you are using Goodnotes 5, don't worry, most of the functions should be exactly the same, with maybe just a few extra features that are exclusive to Goodnotes 6. All right, let's get going. So let's start by opening our Goodnotes app, and we're just going to import our character journal very quickly here. So we're going to do this by pressing on the New button and then selecting Import. And that'll bring up your character files where you can select wherever it is that you saved your character journals on your system. Mine happen to be in this little folder called Character Journals. Just going to open this up, and we are going to select one of the character journals. Again, if you only purchased one of these, then you might not have quite as many options, but if you did purchase the Adventurers bundle, you will have all 12 of the core classes. So we're just going to press open, and it'll take just a second to import, and there we go. We are all ready to get going here. So once the journal is open, if you would like to rename it to something else, right now it just says Bard because this is the Bard character journal, just go ahead and click the little arrow that shows up next to the name on the tab up at the top. And then if you select where it says Bard, then you should be able to type in a new name. So my Bard's name is Tatiana. So we'll make this a journal for Tatiana. All right. So now that we have our file, it has been renamed to our character name rather than just the generic Bard name. Now we can get started. We can switch pages by moving horizontally through our journal, or you can press the hyperlinks in order to navigate to the different sections. You can also use your two fingers to move in and out with the zoom, so spreading your fingers outward will zoom in, while bringing them inwards will zoom out. So just a quick note about the hyperlinks before we go any further. One of the biggest questions that I always get from new users opening their journal is, why aren't my hyperlinks working? Goodnotes essentially has two modes. They have an edit mode and a preview mode, and that can be toggled on and off by pressing this little button right up here with the pencil and the squiggly line. If you see that this toolbar is present with all of our tool options, that means you are in edit mode, and your hyperlinks will not work in edit mode. You have to be in preview mode in order for the links to work as designed. This is just a software thing with Goodnotes. There is technically a way to access your hyperlinks in edit mode. If you press on the hyperlink and hold it down, you should get a little pop-up menu that's looks like this, and if you just press open link, then it'll go to the link. But the tabs just on their own don't work unless you're in preview mode. Okay, so we're gonna start with the pen tool. The pen tool is the first icon on the toolbar right after the undo and redo buttons right here, and it looks like a little pen. This is the tool that, as you've probably guessed, allows you to write in your journal. If you click on it and then use your stylus to draw on the iPad, you will see the pen tool marking up the page. So with the pen tool selected, if you tap on the pen icon again, you are able to pull up a few more options, mostly related to the type of pen you are using. So you can switch between three types of pen: the fountain pen, the ball pen, and the brush pen. You can play around with these settings to see which pen you like best, but the biggest difference I've found is that the fountain and the brush pen are pressure sensitive, so depending on how hard you press on the stylus, you can get a different thickness to your line, versus the ballpoint pen is pretty consistent throughout. There are some other options you can play around with under the settings, mostly relating to how your pen reacts when you draw, as well as some pen gestures that are new to Goodnotes 6, including the scribble to erase feature, which basically just means if you write something and you decide you don't like it, you can just cross it out and it will erase. That isn't available in Goodnotes 5. It is a new feature, but in general, you can just play around with some of these settings and find what works best for you. Over on the right side of the toolbar, you can see we have some different options on how we can modify our pen further. These first buttons right here allow you to change the thickness of the line your pen makes when you write, while these buttons have to do with the color. By default, the thickness tools are preset to a thin, a medium, and a thick, but if you tap on one of them, you can customize them further by using the sliders to make them whatever you would like. So if you want your medium to be a little thicker and you want your thick to be super chunky, then that is totally up to you. You can change those as you see fit. And whatever you change here will stay consistent throughout the journal with the pen tool. To change the color, just tap on one of the color bubbles to the right here. They have a few colors that you can pick from right away, and those will change your pen color into something a little different. If you'd like a pen color that isn't showing up on the preset list, just tap a color, tap it again, and it should bring down this drop-down menu. You can choose a color from the preset options here or select a custom color, either from the color graph or the color wheel, or you can also check out previous colors you've used under history. If you want to add a new color to your preset colors, just select the color you'd like on the grid or on the wheel and say add to presets. And now you can see this new color has showed up in our presets right here, where it's easy to find and for us to use again. You can also edit these presets by clicking on the edit button here in the corner, and all of the colors that show up here, you can click on them and pick a new color from the wheel or from the grid, or you can remove the color completely and it won't show up on those presets anymore. One other thing to note with the pen tool is that if you draw something like a line or a shape and you want the line itself to be just a little bit straighter, like, sometimes when you draw, it's not super perfect on a tablet, right? You can keep the pen tip pressed down at the end of the line or the shape, and the thing that you drew will snap into clear versions of the shape that you're drawing. So if you're drawing a line, it'll straighten out the line. Or if you're drawing like you want a nice clean circle, you can draw a circle, press and hold, and you have a nice circle. And you can also resize these a little bit too once the shape snaps into position. These can be useful sometimes if you're drawing, something that needs to be a little more precise, if you're using our graph tools in our notes section over here to, make a little sketch of the dungeon that you're currently in while you're playing your game. You say, okay, we're in this room here. We're gonna go down this way and get to the main chamber, right? You can kind of adjust these a little bit. You can also do this a little bit easier with the shape tool, which we will get to a little later. Okay, so that pretty much covers the pen tool, and we're gonna move on to the eraser tool. Okay, so the eraser tool is pretty self-explanatory. It erases. It's this little tool right here, right next to the pen tool, that looks like just the tip of an eraser of a pencil. Now with the eraser tool, you have 3 size options, and these are not customizable the way the pen ones are. You either have the small, the medium, or the large to erase whatever it is that you are wanting to erase. But there are a few custom options to choose with the eraser tool, And I'll demonstrate those to you right now. So I'm just going to undo this so that my images show up here again. So with the eraser tool, we do have 3 different options. We have the standard eraser, which is a solid basic eraser, and it's the one you're honestly probably going to use most of the time. The precision eraser just gives you a little bit more control with erasing detail. So if you want to get up, my eraser's a little too big here. If you want to get up like really close to an edge to erase something, the precision eraser is going to be the one you want to use, because the hitbox on the eraser tool is just very small and very precise. So you can get those kinds of clean lines using the precision eraser tool. And the third one that we have over here, which is actually kind of cool, but has a selective use, I suppose you could say, is the stroke eraser tool. Now the stroke eraser will actually erase things based on the strokes of the pen that you use to draw it. So I'm going to select the pen tool for a second here and just create just kind of a complex shape with lots of swirls and whatever. It's kind of complicated, right? If you wanted to go and erase this, it might get a little bit hard to do in some of these sections. So what the stroke eraser tool allows us to do is you can just click on any part of the drawing that you want to erase, and it will erase the entire stroke that you made with your pen, which can be really useful if you're drawing something and there's just one line out of place and you don't want to mess up the whole thing. You can just use this little nifty eraser tool to erase in that way. There is one more option here with the eraser, the Erase Highlighter Only tool, which we'll cover in the next section, which is the highlighter tool. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're moving on to the highlighter tool, which is great for bringing attention to details in your journal. The highlighter tool overall functions very similarly to the pen tool. We have the same options for highlighter thickness. You can customize them the same way, and the colors also work the same way as the pen tool, with the ability to select presets and choose colors from the grid or the wheel. The biggest difference in the highlighter is the way that the tool writes. So you notice when you use the highlighter feature that the highlighter appears behind any relevant text, which lets it stand out very nicely, and it's great whether you're highlighting over the base PDF or any handwritten text or type. The highlighter tool always snaps to the back, allowing the text to remain very nice and clear. Okay, so let's jump back to the eraser tool for just a second to talk about that last feature we were saving. If you notice, if you check this box right here under the eraser options for Erase Highlighter Only, you are able to erase only something that is drawn using the highlighter tool. This can be a great option in case you write something and you highlight it, but you want to change it later. That way you don't have to delete all of the text and you can just get rid of the highlighted section. So to demonstrate this, I'm just going to highlight these things right here that I wrote in before. And I'm going to get the eraser tool and have the Erase Highlighter Only selected on. And now when I erase, it's only going to erase things that I did with the highlighter tool. If I turn that off, however, then now I can erase everything. I can erase the text, the highlighter, all of it, which, depending on what you're looking to do, can be really great. So that pretty much takes care of the highlighter tool. Next up, we're going to move on to the shape tool. Okay, so the shape tool is this one right over here, which has a bunch of little shapes on it. And the shape tool is used for making quick shapes that are clean and accurate. It functions similarly to the pen tool, except you don't have to hold the stylus down in order to make the shape snap. You can just draw it. You can adjust the outline and the colors the same way as you do with the pen and the highlighter tool, and there are a few customizable options here under the shape tool if you tap the tool again. So you can change the requirement to hold and snap if you like that. You can change it to have a fill or to be empty. So if you uncheck the fill color part and you draw like a circle, it'll just be an empty circle. Versus if you have the fill color selected, it will be a filled circle. It is important to note though with the fill in the circle that if you draw something that doesn't have a closed path, then it's not going to fill it in. It'll only fill it in if you close the path and completely close that area, then it'll fill the circle or the square, whatever shape it is in. Okay, next up we have the Lasso tool, which is one of the most important tools in the app, so definitely stay with us for that. Okay, so the Lasso tool is this one right here. It's like got the little dash line and kind of a semicircle here. And this is the tool that will allow you to select and move things around your journal, whether it's type, handwritten, text, shapes, stickers. The Lasso tool will allow you to select, move, resize, delete, and much more. So all you need to do with the Lasso tool is to draw a little circle around whatever it is that you would like to select. Do note that you don't need to necessarily draw a circle around the entire thing in order to select it, which you can obviously, but sometimes it can get a little complex if you have a lot of things close up to each other and you just want to select one. You only really need to select a tiny bit of the object in order to select it. The only exception to this is if you're selecting handwritten text, because it does count all of these things as separate instances. So with something handwritten, you do need to select around the entire thing, but everything else you can just select a tiny little piece of it and it will select just fine. So once you have an object selected, you can move it freely around the journal. If you tap on it, it'll bring up a bunch of other options. From here, you can cut, you can copy it, you can delete it, whatever it is that you see fit. If you are copying and pasting, so you can copy an object and then press and hold and press paste, and there you go. Now you have a second object. So that's how you can easily copy and paste using the Lasso tool. If you instead press, let's go back to that for a second. If you instead press resize, then the little bounding box will show up that will allow you to resize your element. It's getting both of these here. So you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can stretch it out and make it really long, or you can just delete it entirely. Another thing you can do is you can take a screenshot of your element, and it'll take a screenshot only in the area that you actually selected. So if you do want to select the entire thing as a screenshot, you do need to select the entire thing here. But you can press select screenshot, and then you can share this, and you can either copy it, you can save it to your images, you can save it to your iPad somewhere, whatever you want. If you have something that you just want to save as a picture, that's an easy way to do it. The last option on this menu is the convert option, and this is the option that will allow you to convert handwritten text into type. So if you select your handwritten text and you tap on it and you press convert and then press text, you can see that it translated our handwritten text into type. Now, sometimes this can be a little inconsistent, especially if you have messy handwriting like I do. Sometimes the words show up a little wonky. So you are actually able to edit this however you see fit, or add to it in case there's something else you would like to add to it. And then in order to get it into a little text box, all you're going to do is press this button right here and then press copy. From here, just tap and hold anywhere on your journal and press paste. And now you can see you have your new little text box right over here, ready to go. This can be a great tool for your session notes. You always want to write rather quickly in a note-taking session, so it's nice because you can take notes quickly with your handwriting, and then later you can come back, select an entire slew of text, and then convert it into type so that it looks nice and organized and neat. You can also choose what the Lasso tool will select. By tapping on the selected tool, it brings down a drop-down menu with some different options. You can select and deselect depending on what it is you're looking to do, and whatever is highlighted in green will be able to be selected, while anything that is grayed out will not be able to be selected. So for example, right now I just have the handwriting selected. So if I were to draw a big circle around this whole page, the only thing that's going to move is my handwriting. And it is important to note that shapes do count as handwriting since you technically wrote them in. Okay, so we're going to skip the Elements tool and the Image tool for right now because we're going to cover that in the section that's about importing stickers. So for the next section, we're going to skip right ahead to the Type tool. The Type tool is a great way to add text to your journal and can be used to fill out most of your character sheet. With the Type tool selected, all you need to do is tap anywhere on your journal where you'd like the text box to appear. This will bring up the keyboard, and if it doesn't, just double tap inside of the little box to make it show up. And now you can type inside of your text box. You can then tap anywhere outside of the box in order to deselect it. And I recommend using your finger because sometimes when you use the stylus, it can get a little interesting because of some new features in Goodnotes 6, which I'll cover in just a minute. But you can tap the text box again to reposition it. And again, I recommend using it with your finger. Sometimes if you tap with the stylus, it'll bring up this other little feature that can cause a little bit of havoc. So using your finger here is ideal if you're just looking to select it or move it around. If you want to edit the text inside, you can double tap it and that will bring up the select text thing here. And if you double tap it again, you'll get these little blue sliders that'll allow you to select the text in a little bit of a different way. From there, over on the right toolbar, you can change the font to whatever you'd like it to be, depending on what you have available in your iPad device. And you can also change the alignment, you can change the font size, you can change the color in the same way that you change the color on your pen tool, and you can also add a highlighter version here if you would like. When it looks how you like, again, you can just click outside the box in order to deselect it. You can also adjust these functions before you start typing. So to do that, you would just click to create your text box like usual. And from there, you can select the font you want, the size you want, and anything else that you might see fit. And then you can just go ahead and type whatever you want. It is good to note that the text box will always be in the style that you have saved as your default. In order to save a new default, all you need to do is select the text in whatever way. If you want to type something here, or you want to do it at the beginning and change, okay, I want my default text to be this big font in this salmon color. So just set up the text however it is that you want to save it, okay? So we're going to be saving our default text here. And all you need to do is click this little T with the heart over on the side and save as default. So now whenever you tap for a new text box, it will switch to the new settings. So you can see now my font is red. It's a different font, a different size than what our default was before. There is one other feature with the text boxes that I believe is new to Goodnotes 6. So we talked about this a little earlier. Now we're going to cover it in more detail. With the text box selected, so if you create a new text box, and this works whether or not you have writing written in or not. But with this text box selected, you can basically write anywhere on your iPad outside of this little box, and it will automatically convert into text. So depending on your situation, this can be a little faster than using the Lasso tool to circle it and then convert the text and copy and paste it. And you can just continue writing. And again, this sometimes depends a little bit on how good your handwriting is, and mine is not. So I usually just use the text tool as it is. And that's just another way that we can add text into our text boxes here. Sometimes I have trouble exiting this. Like if you try to just click somewhere else on your screen, it can be a little annoying because it'll just keep on trying to write in the text box. Usually if you just click a different icon or this button, or again, like I mentioned before, if you are in this mode where it's recognizing your stylus, just clicking with your finger is the best way to get out of it, because if you try to click with your stylus, it interferes with whatever process is going on over here. I hope Goodnotes continues to work on this feature because I think it's really cool, and if it's made a little bit more accurate, I can see it being very useful. So one of the most fun things about Goodnotes, in my opinion anyways, is the way that you can personalize your journal with stickers and elements. Stickers can be obtained in a variety of ways. You can purchase stickers from many vendors. We have stickers available as well. We have our basic adventurer sticker pack that may have come with your adventurer's bundle or can be purchased separately in our shop. And of course, we have our spell stickers, which we will be reviewing on how to import into Goodnotes as well. So you may already have some stickers, you may want to get some more, or you might be creating your own using some of the different elements, importing your own pictures into Goodnotes and what have you. So we're just going to cover a few different ways of getting these stickers into your journal. It is important to note that stickers can be packaged in a few different ways. You might get pre-cropped stickers in a sticker book, like this one here. This is our Basic Adventurer Pack sticker book. And it looks like this. It is a separate Goodnotes file with the stickers already pre-cropped and ready to use. So you can just basically circle them with your lasso tool, copy them, and paste them into your journal. And there they are. You can also then, once you have them here, resize them or delete them and move them around the screen however you'd like. Other times, like with our spell card stickers, you will receive the stickers as PNG files. The format that they come in just depends on the stickers themselves and how they'll be used. Many times sticker packs like this will include separate PNG files as well, so you can import them in whatever way works for you or into other note-taking apps. Okay, so now we're going to be learning how to import PNG files as stickers into Goodnotes, and we're going to use this in conjunction with our spell stickers because it's going to be the same process for both. So whether you're here just to learn how to generically import any PNG file into your Goodnotes as a sticker, or you want to specifically use them with your spell stickers, either one, it doesn't matter. And this is the way that I recommend, especially if you're importing many stickers at a time, which is the case with the spell stickers, which is why we formatted them in the way that we did. So just for a sec, we're just going to go ahead and exit our Goodnotes app, and we're going to open up our files. And we're doing this just so we can find exactly where we saved our spell stickers. So navigate to that file. We do have a few options here of how we organize them for you. So we have just the full list alphabetical. We have by class spell, since I am playing a bard. I'm just going to click on the bard list so that we have all of the bard spells that are included in the SRD available to us right here. So now go ahead and navigate back to your Goodnotes app. And what we're going to do is we're just going to swipe very gently up from the bottom of the screen so that you get this menu on top of your current file. If you swipe up too hard, it's going to exit and you're going to be on your home screen. So we want to be very gentle about lifting that up from the bottom, and we're going to press and hold this file button right here, and we're just going to add it to the side of the screen here like this. And I like it to be kind of really right next to it so I can really see what's going on. So now you can see we have our character journal with our spell page open right next to the file that we have all of our spell stickers that we're looking to import. So the easiest way to do this is just to select what stickers you want, press and hold, and then just drag it over onto the page. Where now if you tap on it, you can resize it, and they are formatted to fit pretty perfectly on top of the text boxes that you might have used for fill-in, or if you prefer to just fill in your spells manually, it's totally up to you. So that's it. You just drag and drop. And because we have a whole bunch of these, you might want to bring a whole bunch of them over at the same time, and you can just drag whatever ones you want to use over and then resize them. Just a little note, the bigger spells like this one are made to actually cover 2 of the little spell boxes right here. So if you're resizing them, it's not going to fit neatly onto one, and it would be really small if it tried. So they're actually set up just to fit really nicely over 2 sets of spell cards. So when you're done importing all of the spell stickers that you want, you can just swipe from the side here, and you might need to do it twice to get rid of that side screen. And now you've just got the stickers that you want in your spell book. So now we're going to talk about the Elements button, which is this one right here with the little star and kind of looks like a sticky note. The Elements button allows you to save and create different folders of specific elements that you might use often. So this has a few pros and cons to importing your stickers this way. One cool thing is that you can easily create folders and have your stickers kind of ready to go at any given moment. And if you have really thematically, categorized stickers, like this is a potion sticker pack that I'm working on, it makes it really easy just to find the sticker and plop it into your journal. You can also create your own stickers by combining different elements. So for example, like we have this potion sticker right here. Maybe I want to add a text that says spell potion. And this isn't super fancy because I'm just doing this quick, but we're going to bring this up over here. I don't know, maybe we'll just stick it there. All right, and say I want to make this whole thing its own sticker. So what you can do is you can select the whole area that you want and say add element, and you can just press on the folder where you would like to add this element to. You can add it to the potion thing, you can create a new collection, whatever it is that you want to do, you can create a little folder. And now when you press on the elements again, we have that same exact formatting right here. So you can do a lot of things with this. You can make it with like shapes, you can combine shapes, combine images, combine handwriting, whatever it is that you want to do, and then you just turn it into an element and then it'll save as a sticker in those files. So especially if you're creating stickers on your own within Goodnotes, this is a good way to just kind of utilize that feature in order to do that quickly and easily. You can also create new folders and import stickers from your files or your camera. If you click on the Elements button right here and slide over to the side where this little plus button is, you can create a new collection for yourself. So I'm just going to title this tutorial stickers. And now from here, you can add from either your photos or you can import stickers from your library. So if you wanted to go over here and say you wanted to make a elements package of some of your favorite spell stickers. I don't necessarily recommend this because they can be hard to see in the little elements thing, but in case you wanted to do it, there you go. You can add a spell sticker if you want to add something from your photos, like this cute picture of my puppy. Whatever it is that you want to add, you can add them right into this little folder right here, and then you press create, and it'll create a new collection from whatever it is that you put in here. So now you can see along the bottom, I have this right here that has my spell sticker ready to go and my cute puppy picture ready to go. So the reason why I don't really like this for spell cards is because if you see the preview image right here, it's very, very small. And if you have a ton of spell stickers in here, you're not going to be able to tell which is which can get a little annoying. So that is why I recommend the other way as far as how to import the spell stickers into your journal. But this is great for things like the potion bottles where you can very clearly see what is happening here, right? You can clearly see which sticker you're choosing, and then you can bring it on in and plop it down. So used selectively, the Elements tool can be very useful for importing stickers that you know you'll use over and over again. The last tool that we're gonna do here is the Image tool, and to show you that one, we're just gonna navigate over to our character section over here. So the Image tool is again just another way of us being able to import an image into Goodnotes. So if you just click on this, you can select to actually take a picture from your camera if you want, or if you just want to insert a picture from your files, just click anywhere on the character journal and you can insert a picture directly from your photos if you'd like. So I have a picture here of my cleric that I made a while back, and you can, adjust and position it however you like. So this is a great way to insert some character art into your journal. You can also select images from your files. So if you wanted to, you could also select your spell stickers this way. Again, I don't necessarily recommend it only because you can only insert one at a time and you would have to click through all of those prompts again just to get that spell sticker for a different spell sticker. But it is an easy way if you just need to import like one thing or what have you, or a picture from your photos, or if you want to just take a picture directly with your camera, you can do that as well by pressing this. It'll ask you if you would want to allow the Goodnotes to access your camera, and you would say okay. This looks great because it's just the bottom of the table here, so it's not a very fantastic picture, but you get the idea. So that covers most of the popular ways of importing spell stickers, pictures, and all of those things into your Goodnotes file. We just have a few more things we're going to take a look at before wrapping up this tutorial. So in the next section, we'll be adding pages and exporting Goodnotes documents. So sometimes you might want to add a page to your journal. We try to anticipate almost every eventuality of things that you might possibly need, but you never know, you might need something else. So let's say, for example, you need an extra note page somewhere, you need more inventory space, or you just want to create your own page. We're going to show you how to do that. So let's say you have turned into a horse collector in your campaign and you need an extra page for all of your mounts because we only have one in here and Bill the pony over here is taking up this page, okay? So what you can do is just click these three dots over here in the corner, and from this drop-down menu, you're gonna press copy page. It's going to take a second to copy, and now what you're going to do is press this page button here with the plus mark on it, and you're going to say paste page. So now you have an exact duplicate of the page before. And so that means, you know, if you want to make this one for one of the different horses in your stable, you can do that while still retaining what was on the original page. One thing to note, however, is that when you do create a new page, that page will not be innately accessible by all the hyperlinks. In general, we've tried to set up our journal so that every hyperlink goes to a new page. But when you do this and you create your own pages, you'll have to swipe to get to this page. For example, if you are navigating around your journal and you're like, oh, I need to get to my mounts, the only one that's going to show up on the mount hyperlink is Bill the pony right here, and not this page. So you're just going to have to swipe over to the next page. That being said, if you did copy a page from this journal and pasted it into this journal, the other hyperlinks will still all work. So you should be able to click away from that page just as normal. You will just have to swipe to get to that page when you're trying to find it. You can also pull pages from other documents. For example, you might, when you're in combat, like in our session journal, which we created as a separate journal just to make it easy to kind of flip-flop between the tabs up on top here. But let's say you really want this battle tracker in your actual journal. You can totally do that as well, following the same steps. Press the three dots on the side here, press copy page, and then go to your journal. And we're going to paste this page. Oops, sorry, we're going to press the button right here and paste the page. One thing I didn't note before was you can actually change where the page pastes. It can be before the current page, after the current page, or the very last page in the notebook. So if you paste this page here, it'll show up right after our combat page. So now this is here, you can fill out exactly how you want, but do notice that the links and the tabs on the side here have all changed because it is following the format and the hyperlinks of this journal. So that being said, you won't be able to use these hyperlinks because they don't exist in this document. So you can still get to this page again in the same way by, if you navigate away, you can click on the combat page and you know, okay, my battle tracker is right here. I can just swipe over and there it is. You just won't be able to navigate away from it without swiping back to the page that does have the hyperlinks. It is worth noting though that adding a page this way, it doesn't disrupt the current way that the hyperlinks are set up. It will continue to go to all the right places otherwise, which is obviously a very good thing. You can also import pages from other templates that you have. You can have a blank page. There's all sorts of different things that you can do here. So it is a fun thing to explore if you're looking to add on to your journal and sort of add your own flair to it. The last thing that we're going to do is share and export our journal. So under the share button up here, which is the half square with the arrow, if you press that, you get a few different options that pop up, that you can share your link or collaborate, you can export this document, so a few different options here. The share link to collaborate can be a really great option if you need to share your character journal with your game master, right? A lot of times, they like to see your stats. It can be helpful if they, you just went through some epic storyline and you got this great backstory character development thing going on, and maybe you developed a new feat, or they gave you a special item that they can say, check your inventory, you just found this really cool thing. So there can be some cool ways to sort of link these files together if everybody in your party is using this system. It can be kind of fun. So in order to share this file, all you're going to have to do is just make sure that this is clicked on, and it'll upload your document to sort of like a Goodnotes cloud type of a thing. And from there, if you go to sharing settings, you can kind of update some of the things here. So you can copy the link and paste it and send it to whoever you want in order for them to also have access to this journal. Another thing that you can do here is export your journal. So you can either export one of the pages or all of the pages, depending on what you're looking to do. I'll just say this page because it's a little faster. So if you want to do this, you have a few different options. You can just export it as a plain PDF, an image, or another Goodnotes file. So just depending on what you're looking to do with this, you have a few options. And when you're ready, you can just press export, and it'll take a second to export the document, and then you can choose what you'd like to do with it. You can save it to your files, you can email it to somebody, you can open it in a different app if you want. So it's just a way of making your file compatible with other software if that's what you're choosing to do, or to send it to somebody else. Okay, so that pretty much sums up our tutorial on Goodnotes. I hope you all feel more confident in using the app in your digital journaling experience, and that I've given you the tools to be able to really play and get to know this app on your own. If you have any questions, please drop us a comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe and check out some of our other videos and tutorials. Thank you for joining us!